Welcome, everyone, to the league. This is your commissioner speaking. And it's week 12. Year's gone by a little fast, it seems, doesn't it? Maybe it's a little slower for some of you fucking losers out there, but for us teams up here in the top, man, going by pretty damn fast. Um, not too much has changed. Again, there's still the top four teams, the Quailmen, um, Finesse, Titans Elite, and the Voyagers. I got some new graphics up here just to make sure that everyone is clear on everything. The Finesse, Titans Elite, and the Voyagers have all clinched a playoff spot. Those three teams are just battling for that number one seed and the bye. Um, the two teams that don't win the West, um, or I guess the second and third place teams will be duking it out in the first round of the playoffs. So these teams are going to get to see each other a lot in the next 3 weeks, and it's going to be a bloodbath over the next 3 weeks over that out there in the West. And who can take advantage of the wise guys, really, and not fuck up against them. But yeah, and out there in the East, the Rune Dogs and the Dumpster Fire are still, they're still the top two there, but the Smeagol's are right behind them now. The Smeagol's, they took advantage of a loss by the Rune Dogs and the Dumpster Fire by getting a big win over the Voyagers last week by 2 touchdowns. And now they're only down. They have the same record. They're 5-6, but they're only down by about 70 points, 65 points on the Dumpster Fire, and the Dumpster Fire are only back by 2 points on the Rune Dogs. So it's fucking close out there in the East. But the Quailmen are the talk of the town this week. They have clinched the South with the loss. Um, from the Heaters. The Heaters lost. That gives the Quailmen the clinch. They're up by 4 games with only 3 to play. They have clinched the South. They have not clinched a first round bye yet because they could still lose out, and then one of the teams from the East, either of any of them, could win out and then take that number one seed. But they have clinched the South. And again, that's not to say that the Hickory Grove Heaters and the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks are out of the playoff race, but they're a game back on everybody in the East except for the Cartel. And now they have to get, there's only one spot remaining for the Heaters and the Tiger Sharks, whereas they're not gonna so it's gonna be a grind the rest of the way. The Trenum Trolls and the um sorry, the Trenum Trolls and the Miami Cartel have both technically been eliminated from the playoffs. Mathematically, not yet. Well, the Trolls are done. The Trolls have been mathematically eliminated, um, like 100% of the way. But the Miami Cartel still have like the most ridiculous of chances. Like they would have to win out, obviously, finish 6-8, and then magically some other teams would have to also lose. But the only way that this would happen is if the cartel just put up a fucking ridiculous amount of points while basically everybody else just sat all their guys. You know what I mean? Because the cartel are 200 points behind the guys like the Smeagol's and even the Trolls. He's 100 points back on the Tiger Sharks, points scored wise. So again, basically the cartel are out unless they win out and everybody sits everybody, which is just not going to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and fade them for the rest of the year. Otherwise, the wise guys are still hanging around, but it's not looking too good. As of now, the Rune Dogs have a 78% chance to get into the playoffs. The Dumpster Fire have a 75% chance. The Smeagol's, though, they more than quadrupled their chances with the win last week and the double loss from the Rune Dogs and Dumpster Fire. They're up to 42.5% to make the playoffs. But then after that, the Heaters have a 2%. Tiger Sharks have less than a 1% chance, and the Wise Guys are sitting at a paltry 0.18% chance to make the playoffs. So the Wise guys are not out of it yet, but I think if they lose this week, or if anyone that's even in their way remotely wins, they're fucking out next week. But let's get on to the power rankings. So coming in at number 12, I mean, you got the cartel. Again, they're not technically mathematically eliminated, but they're fucking out, all right? There's no fucking way, that they're gonna just literally start putting up, say, 180 points a game. And even if they did do that, the other teams would have to put up, say, 60 points per game over the next 3 weeks. And even if they did do that, those other teams would have to lose. So again, the cartel are just not at it. And just kind of like Mandy was saying in the prediction video, they didn't really do too. They didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. So I guess they're just kind of content with rolling into next year. I mean, they have E-Man's first round pick, so they have a late. They're gonna have a late first round pick, um, and two second round picks, two thirds, and a fifth. Now, they do have two first rounders in 2024. So this team looks like it's a long rebuild, which is kind of what they need. I mean, this team has nobody. I mean, it's just like Coach Pat Fina said at the beginning of the year, it's just a bunch of twos, and even then, it's just a bunch of threes. So this team's got a long road ahead of them, but that's what you signed up for. Coming in at number 11, you got Pat Phoenix and the Wise guys. Yeah, had to drop them back down, man. They were rising up, and then as soon as I put them up, they fucking lose to the cartel. The only reason that they're above the cartel right now is because they still got 4 wins on the season. But I mean, putting up 82 points and losing to the worst team. I mean, your kicker went 0 for 2 on extra points, and your bench didn't do that much better. I mean, you literally, I think you started pretty much the best guys you could have. So, I mean, it was just wasn't meant to be. Probably just needed a better kicker, and you needed your running backs to not suck ass and have Joe Mixon die. But sorry, buddy. Coming in at number 10, you got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. I mean, they got the win last week over the fucking Rune Dogs. This team, man, what is going on down there in Tampa? I don't know. Keeping their very slim playoff hopes alive. Vanilla Vic doing his thing. Pickens is starting to look good for him, and Kittle doing Kittle things. Finally, he's just starting to come and be pretty damn solid there. And yeah, this team. I'm gonna keep him down here because you gotta show me something. You gotta show me more to move it on up. But got a big game this week. Let's see if you can do it. Coming in at number 9, you got the Trenum Trolls. Had a tough loss last week to the SC Titans Elite. Put up 130 points in the process, but Joe pulls it out of his ass like he always does. And now, I mean, yeah, now the Trolls are 2-9. It's basically time to start looking towards next season and what they can do. And like the coach said, it's almost bad luck. They've put up more points than anybody else in the South, even more than the Quailmen. The Quailmen are 8-3, and they've put up 1,238 points. The Trolls are 2-9, and they've put up what 23 more points than them. Um, there's a little thing I can look at here and kind of do like a schedule comparison, basically to kind of see who's the luckiest and the unluckiest person in the league. Basically, what it does is it combines, say, everyone's record and say if you were to play this person's schedule, what would your record be, right? Based on how many points you put up that week. So if we go down to the Trenum Trolls, literally I think they're the only team that would have a better record of any kind, at least one more win, if they had anybody else's schedule. But the thing is, their best record right now, they would be 6-5 If they had the LA Finesse's schedule, they would be 6-5 if they had the Titans Elite schedule, and they would be they would be 6-5 if they had the Wise Guys schedule. Those are all West teams. But the Trolls would be 4-7 if they had the Voyagers schedule. So it's very interesting. And then you look at the Voyagers again. I guess I'll use my team as an example. I'm 8-3, but I would be 4-7 if I had the Wise Guys schedule. I would be 2-9. I'm sorry, hold on a second. I would be 5-6 if I had the Trenum Trolls schedule. So that's kind of how it's playing out. It's basically saying the Trolls are basically the unluckiest fucking team this year. The luckiest team, though, since people, you probably might want to know that, I would probably say, who is the luckiest person? It looks like the Heaters. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. No, they're not. I'm sorry. Not the fucking Heaters. Hmm. Who's the luckiest team this year? Oh. It's the SC Titans Elite. 100%. Because they would be at best 9-2 like they are with the Finesse's schedule, but anybody else's schedule they would have at least one more loss all the way down to 5-6. Whereas some other teams are, a little bit changed out throughout. Anyways, kind of wanted to put that into perspective, just how unlucky the Trolls are, and should have drafted better. Coming in at number 8, you got the Hickory Grove Heaters. Yeah, well, still in playoff contention. Lost the South now. New to the South there. Lost it already. You're a game back on everybody. You gotta fucking basically win out, and you just lost badly to the champs. Got a big game this week. They gotta pull ahead, and if they want to sniff anything this year, they got to start winning now. Now's the time. Can't one more loss, you're donezo. Coming in at number 7. I hope that sound didn't come on the thing. Coming in at number 7, you got the Philadelphia Smeagol's big win last week against the Vietnam Voyagers, possibly the biggest, I would say, movers again playoff wise. The Smeagol's again, they jumped from a say like 9% playoff chance to 45% playoff chance with one game. They beat the Voyagers, one of the top teams, and then they had the other two teams in the East in the Rune Dogs and the Dumpster Fire losing. So that was huge for them. Now they're all tied. Now he's just got to make up 65 points or just win out and see how the cards fall. Coming in at number 6, you got the Columbia Dumpster Fire, and I'm going to put it right above them, the Long Island Rune Dogs. These teams are basically, I mean, they are just dead. They're only separated by 2 points. I mean, and even like points for, they're separated by 2 points. Points against, they're separated by 5. And if you take those separations into consideration, Rune Dogs are outscoring the Dumpster Fire by 2 points, and the Dumpster Fire have been outscored by other teams 5 points more than Mandy has. So it's a 3 point difference between these two squads. They're both 5-6. These two teams are so evenly matched. This is literally a 5A, 5B type situation. So I'm putting them in here basically at the same spot. But the Rune Dogs get the number 5 because, well, they're on top. Coming in at number 4, dropping down a few spots, you got the Vietnam Voyagers taking a tough loss to the Philadelphia Smeagol's last week, losing a game in the West that is so crucial, especially at this time. That was a game that they not really should not have lost, but could not have lost for them to really want that number 1 seed, because now it's going to be very tough because they got to play the West the last 3 games, and then hope that one of them loses twice, and that person's got to be the LA Finesse because they put up so much so many fucking points this year. The Finesse are above the Voyagers by 45 points. Now, it was a lot closer last week and a couple weeks ago, but now the Finesse are just kind of pulling away slowly. Coming in at number 3, you got the French Quarter Quailmen. Props to Dan for taking the South. All those trades a couple years ago, fucking paying dividends now. One of the top teams in the fucking league. Not points wise. I mean, you're in a weak ass division, but hey, you can't choose who to play unless you're the Heaters and want to move to the South and still lose. But hey, you can't choose who you want to play, man. And they're taking care of the business. 8-3. I don't think they lost. They didn't lose to any. They haven't lost to anybody in their division. Their only losses are outside of the division, so it doesn't even matter. So Quailmen taking the South. They're going to be in the playoffs. Most likely going to have a first round bye locked up for them. So huge for this team. If they get one more win, I think it's already locked up. But yeah, coming in at number 2, you got the SC Titans Elite. I mean, we kind of all knew this was going to come. They beat the Trolls, who were just trying to get something last week, and they won by 2 touchdowns over the Trolls. But now they got a big time matchup this week against the top team in the league, the LA Finesse, reigning champs, 9-2, yada yada yada. We've been over this a million times. His team's really fucking good. What else you want me to fucking say? All right, let's get on to the matchups. Matchup number 1. Whew. You got the 3-8 Cartel. I think it's the 4th worst game in a week in a row for these guys. At the 5-6 Philadelphia Smeagol's. It's a low-scoring game right now. It's just the end of the first quarter. The Smeagol's are losing 13-6 right now, so the Cartel are only up by a touchdown. But I mean, it's the Cartel. If they put up 100, it's been a good day for them. And the Smeagol's, you kind of don't know what you're gonna get with them, but now that they've evened it up basically in the East, Smeagol's, it's time for them to put their foot on the gas and take control. And this is just the game to do it. But no one's gonna be watching, so who cares? Coming in, matchup number 2, you got the newly crowned South champ French Quarter Quailmen at 8-3 taking on the 4-7 Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. And right now, I mean, the Quailmen are blowing out the Tiger Sharks at the end of the first half. They're up 50-14. So yeah, it's pretty bad down there in Tampa. I guess maybe they're still hungover from celebrating nothing. No success down there, but we'll see if the Tiger Sharks can somehow make it out. Maybe Dan rests his squad, for the playoffs, since he's basically got everything locked up. But he does still need one more win to really secure it. So this might be the nail in the coffin for the Tiger Sharks. Matchup number 3. Got the 2-9 Trentham Trolls playing the 4-7 Hickory Grove Heaters. And I know you guys are saying, hey, why isn't this rivalry game of the week? Well, for one, they were already rivalry game of the week earlier in the season. 2, Graydon's had that shit about a million times. And 3, fuck you guys. So, the fucking Trolls are beating the donkey shit out of the Heaters right now. It's 45-16 at the end of the first half. But it looks like the Trolls just blew out everything they had in the first half. And the Heaters might make a comeback here. I think Kyler Murray's going to give it a go and actually start playing in the second half. So they might have a chance. And the Heaters, for them to have any chance of making the playoffs, they got to win. And they might want to win big. But right now it's not looking too hot. Coming in. Why do I keep saying coming in? Coming. Come. Matchup number 4. You got the this could have been game of the week, but you guys know what the game of the week is already. So you got the two teams deadlocked in the East. 5-6 Dumpster Fire, 5-6 Room Dogs. And again, winner takes control of the East, unless the Smeagol's also win and outscore the winner of this game by, say, 60 points, which could happen, but probably won't. So the winner of this game takes control of the East. The Room Dogs are currently up 53-36 at the end of the first half, and it looks like they may keep that 2-touchdown lead throughout the game. We will see. She does have Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen already went donkey nuts in the first half. Sun God got 23.5, so, and Greg Joseph got 8.5 fucking points for the Room Dogs, which is fucking incredible. yeah, so this should be a really good matchup, and I know everyone out there in the East Coast is going to be watching this one. This is kind of like an NFC East matchup. You know, it's two shit teams, not great records, but everyone's going to be tuning in because that's primetime TV. Rivalry game of the week. You got the 8-3 Vietnam Voyagers taking on the 4-7 Washington Wise Guys. And you know, I always thought that these two teams had the same yellow, but they don't. It's a little different. You know, Wise Guys got that deeper gold, whereas the Voyagers got that yellow, you know. And I didn't really realize until I put this thing together. Hey man, stop zooming out. And come on, camera. Fucking hate cameras. All right. Anyways, yeah. This should be not a blowout because I don't want to jinx anybody, myself mainly. But yeah, the Voyagers should win this pretty handily. You know, they've gone up to Washington many times before. They've won there before. They know how to do it. It's a pretty short flight to Washington from Vietnam, so they shouldn't be that jet lagged. And this team has been all over the world several times. They have the longest flights to than any other team in the league, so they're used to it at this point. As it stands now, the Voyagers are up by a touchdown at the end of the first half, 33 to 28. Actually, only 5 points. Yeah, Justin Jefferson went fucking bonkers, and Jordan Hicks did pretty well at linebacker. But Aiden Hutchinson put a fucking goose egg for the Wise Guys, which is going to hurt him. And I'm getting word that Justin Fields is not going to play today. It's going to be Geno Smith in there for the Washington Wise Guys. And hey, he could do it. Who knows? But let's get on to the game that really matters this week. The game of the week. Ooh. You got the 9-2 SC Titans Elite taking on the 9-2 reigning champs, LA Finesse. And I've gotten word that the Finesse are coming out in their all pink with black trim unis this week to take on the Titans. I think the Titans are wearing their all blacks. So this is going to be a damn good looking match from the stands, and it's going to be a good looking match on paper because it's the two best teams in the league going fucking toe to toe for control of the best division in the league in the West. And they're down there in LA. I mean, this is going to be such a good game. Everyone's going to be tuning in to this one. As it stands now, the Finesse are winning 26 to 18, so only a touchdown lead for the Finesse at the end of halftime. But it looks like the Finesse may start to pull away in the second half. But it really all depends on, honestly, can the Finesse's defense hold up like they have been? Because if they can't do it, I think Tom Brady might give this team a chance. I mean, it's Joe. It's hard to bet against Joe. And as we'll see in just a second, they didn't bet against Joe. Let's get on to the predictions. Woo! Thank you, Mandy, for making the final picks. Not really final picks, but the final individual picks that we know of on the season. Yeah, I went 2-4 last week. Fuck, I thought I had some pretty solid picks. I was looking pretty decent, and then just the wheels fell off in the second half. But whatever, 2-4. So we're 31-35 overall, 47% average. I don't know who's gonna make the picks next week. Mandy didn't call anybody out, but I mean, she's the last owner to go. She was number 12. So maybe consolation committee. We'll see. I don't know. That would be nice. If not, then someone will make something happen. Or maybe we could do like a community pick. We could do a community pick. I'm literally just thinking of that. Maybe We might do that, like a poll or some shit. Might be annoying, but we'll see. Whatever. We'll fucking figure it out. We got a week to figure this shit out. But yeah, Mandy picked the Philadelphia Smeagol's to take down the cartel. Pretty easy pick there. She picked the Tiger Sharks though to beat the Quailmen, and that's a very spicy pick. I think that might have just been a dig at Dan. Um, but I mean, as it stands now, the Tiger Sharks, they may not lose. They might actually win, but a definite upset. If the Tiger Sharks do take that, she's got the Heaters over the Trolls. Not necessarily an upset record-wise, but points-wise, hey, it sort of kind of is. Of course, she's got her own Room Dogs taking down the Dumpster Fire to take control of the East. She's got the Voyagers over the Wise Guys in the rivalry game of the week, and she's got the Titans Elite over the Finesse. Now, not an upset, because I mean, come on, they're the best two teams in the league. They got the same record. The only difference is points scored and just how close Joe's games are, whereas the Finesse usually win by a fuckload, usually. And except that one time they barely beat the Dumpster Fire by a half point or whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, I mean, I think this would be an upset in the eyes of like most of us, but not really. If the Titans Elite win, I mean, I hope it happens because Joe hasn't scored as many points as the Voyagers, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, the Titans Elite taking down the Finesse. We'll see if that happens. Mandy's got some spicy picks here, but we're going to need them. We need her to go at least 4-2 on these to finish the season fucking even, right? No. Sorry, 5-1. I can't do math. She needs to go 5-1 first to finish at 50% on the season. Well, at least for the first 12 games. Whatever. Let's get on to golf. The shit's running long. Hold on. Golf was spicy this week, boys and girl. Holy shit. So, we got a battle on our hands up here. We have Dan and E-Man tied for first fucking place. Dan shot one birdie last week to bring him to 16 under par. E-Man shot a quad birdie to bring him from 12 under to 16 under. So now they are tied for first place. Again, I have changed the hole, so you know what hole we're on. We got 3 more. 16, 17, and 18. 3 more holes. This is after hole 15. I'm sitting there at 13 under. I shot 2 birdies. Hey, not too bad. And then you got Joe at 7 under, who's still in the running. He shot a birdie and a bogey, so he stayed where he was at 7 under. And then, honestly, I mean, Joe is 6 strokes above the next best person in Mandy, and Mandy is 15 with only three holes to play. I just don't see it happening for anybody from 5 down. It's definitely going to be Dan, E-Man, Germ, or Joe. And Joe's even got a tough shot to get up there. So it's probably down to these top 3, Dan, E-Man, and myself, to win the goal line Stein this year that TiVo will be fucking sending to somebody. But yeah, we're running on almost 30 fucking minutes here, guys. Sorry about that. Drinking some Filipino beer. This shit is rough. But yeah, I'm not going to go over the rest of the golf. You can fucking read it. You know where you stand. And yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. And again, cheers to Dan. The first team. Who would have thought that they would have been in the first team to secure or to clinch their division? Cheers. Also, Clemson sucks. Woo!